Hi tiny friends, and welcome back to the channel. So I thought today what we'd do is have a little look at what is in the normal track day, and we're starting off with a nice quick hit around the kart track on the Supermoto 250 EXC 2013 two-stroke. And yeah, what we're trying to do today is concentrate a little bit more on lines. One of the things I've been doing is, I don't know, perhaps I've been hitting it a little too hard on the kart track and not leaving any gas in the tank for the main track, so I'm taking it a little bit more easy here. But you will see we've got some cones out, and these specifically are more than 90 degrees. They don't look it here, but there are quite a lot more than 90 degrees going around. The idea being that quite a lot of turns on the main track are more than 90 degrees. Some of them are up to, well, obviously there are some 180s, but quite a lot of the regular, what you would call regular corners, are actually 100 to maybe 120 degrees. And there's an awful lot of moving that has to be done. I will point out here, you'll see a bunch of black stuff on the track. It's super slippy in this section of the track. So yeah, just got to be a little bit careful there. So blasting through, that's one quick hit of the kart track. This was the last of, I think, 5 laps that we did initially. There's just me on the track at the moment, so now it's time for a little bit of cone work, and the coach laid these out once again to get us turning back on ourselves. So every one of these turns is probably around about 120 odd degrees, and what we're trying to do is move our bodies on the bike, something I need to work on quite a lot, in order to get round these cones in a way that makes it more controllable. The idea here is not that we go super fast, it's that it is a controlled and constant throttle around these cones. So there's 5 or 6 of these fellas laid out, and I think I muck up here a little bit. Yeah, see right there, shaking my head. So there you go, we keep going around these cones and we keep trying to get it done right up until the point that hopefully we're able to get round in a way that makes the most sense for efficiency. And of course now we're on the big track. So what we have here is my dual 150 external GPS, and that's hooked up Bluetooth to the app called RaceChrono. Now I have the free one because I'm cheap, but I'll probably, going forward, I'll probably grab the extended version, the Pro version. My understanding is that if you have an iPhone, you have to pay for it. There is no free option. But I'm going to go through RaceChrono at the end once we take a hit around the big track, and I'll just point out sort of what we're up to. And we're just about to get going now. Now I'm going to go out with my buddy Carlos, who is on a 600 Ninja. Obviously he's a lot faster than me, but he's learning like me, and he's also just going to take it easy because this is his first outing today, so he's just going to warm his bike up. He wasn't on the kart track as much as I was, so my bike is a little warmer. And alright, off we go. So we're going to head up here to turn 1, which is a high-speed 90. And I should be on the right-hand side of the track here. I would normally be cutting off here to the apex and then drifting out a little wider. So Carlos brakes here, which sort of forces me to the outside. Normally what I would do is try and apex roughly where he is. But he's got a lot more acceleration than me, so he's going to take off here. And then keep to the right, and then drift over to the left here. That's a nice, gentle right-hander. And now what we're doing is we're coming up to one of these fairly aggressive turns. So this one is not 180, but it's a good maybe 130. And you've really got to sort of keep an eye on what you're doing here. And now we're coming up to these chicanes, and this hopefully will show you a little bit why we were doing those cones, because these are quite aggressive. This is quite an aggressive chicane of, I think, 3 or 4 separate sort of body movements. Here I need to come out to the right and then clip here on the apex, so I was quite happy with that corner because I've mucked that corner up a lot. Don't pay a tremendous amount of attention to the speedo, it's not correct. Here you can and here you can hear me searching for 6th gear, which I don't have. Under the bridge, full whack basically, you don't need to pull off here. And then, I don't know, I think I should probably enter this a little wider. And here we've got another probably 120 degree corner, and I should be apexing a lot better, but I'm not. Here we go over to the left, and this next corner is super tricky. A lot of people end up in the sand here. It's a lot tighter than it looks. The video here doesn't really do it much justice. And then once again here, there's two apexes. You've got to move out to the right a little more, which I'm not doing. And then wind it up here, and this is a full chat left-hander, 90 degree, to put you on the back straight, which is a very long, very fast straight. Obviously I'm not very fast, and we'll have a little look at the RaceChrono once we get over. Okay, so I thought we'd just have a look at these RaceChrono results, and I'm still sort of learning this app. I've also had to do a little bit of trickery to get these screenshots because, of course, the app is on the phone. So what I did is essentially take screenshots and match them together to make this sort of overall view that will look better on a video format. But what we're going to do really is we're going to have a look over here at lap 1 in blue at 220. So we'll look at that just to begin with. And in the middle here you'll see the actual track with the GPS plot points and the various speeds. We're going to get back to this a little bit more because I have laps 1, 2, and 3 next to each other, so we'll be able to sort of figure out what's going on. And then on the right we've got our speeds. Now on the app you can do things where you can move the speed around and actually show you what section of the track it is. And so it's a little easier on the app, and I'm not 100% sure how to do a screen share on that. But long story short is I look at, well, first of all I look at the lap time, of course, and then I have a look at the consistency. So right now all of my laps, and there's only 3 here. Now this one says 230, but you're going to actually see that that includes a pit lane. So it's going to be in and around the 220 mark, and I've got some other ones as well that are all between, I think, 219 and 222. So I do know that the fastest guy in the promotional category, promotional is under, it's sort of under 250cc single cylinder. Technically it's under 200. There are a couple of guys in there with 250s, and they are Pulsars. They've got about 23, 24 horsepower, and they're lower to the ground, and on this particular track they're just better. I can't pull higher than 118. This is kilometers as well, incidentally. So I can't pull much more than about 120 kilometers an hour. I know those guys are capping out somewhere around 130, 135. So they've got a pretty big advantage on the straights. And the quickest time that I've seen is 2 minutes 13. So I'm technically about 7 seconds, roughly, behind them, which is fine. My bike isn't made for this kind of track, and you know, we'll have to see if I carry on with this bike or if I end up getting something a little similar to those guys. But you know, here we are. We're 118 on the straight. This is that nice left-hand fast 90. A lot of these, you'll actually see these curves here, these corners are more than 90. So that one's more than 90. This one's more than 180 actually. I think I said something different on the video before, but this is actually more than 180. This one here technically is probably 180 by the time you look at this section here, or possibly a bit more when you come up here. This again is another 180. This is pretty much a 180. This is that curve that I mentioned tricks everybody because you expect this to sort of come across. You don't expect this dip here, and it's only a small dip, but boy, it makes a big old difference. This is an interesting corner here. There are various sort of elements to it. You can technically get at least 2 X's out of this corner, and then this is sort of more like a straight here. Again, we're about 94. So the two fastest are obviously the straights. Here's the 118, and this is actually 118 again under the bridge. I'm getting up to 116 here, which is nice. So you know, that's where we are. If we were to have a look at, yeah, okay, so the 3 laps next to each other, the one on the left is the one we've just looked at. You'll actually see the Speeds are somewhat similar. We got 94 at the top. We always seem to be the same there, followed by an 88, which we don't have here. This corner we're seeing 80s, bit faster on this corner, which is better. A little faster here, which would make sense because we got better entry speed into this 85 here. 59 on this corner is always the same. 118, a little slower here on this third one. I'm a little slower through the bridge, only a couple of kilometers an hour, not a big deal. But you'll actually see sort of fairly consistent. There's 70, 71, 71, 59, 59, 60. So it's pretty consistent, which of course would make sense because the lap times are fairly consistent. So the corners that I know I can do a lot better on are definitely this corner up here, these last few corners. I know I can significantly improve there. Certainly this corner here, this bowl 180. I know, in fact, all the corners. Let's face it, pretty much all the corners. This one here, where I'm hitting 49 to 50, I often get overtaken there by the promotional guys. They can just stick better. They've got I don't know, they're leaned over better and they're just moving a little better. So, yeah, there you go. That's the analysis. Basically, what we're looking for is an improvement all over, and hopefully get those lap times, shave another 8 seconds off. I'd be really happy with that. And just as a final part to this is a picture of my back tire. Now, I'm not one of these guys who looks at chicken strips and stuff. That means absolutely nothing to me. But it was sort of fairly encouraging to see that I think I'm using all of the tire. I don't think any of it's wasted. So kind of means I'm getting the bike over a little bit, which is nice. I think that I could definitely do a little more. I think I could get that bike over a touch more, maybe get my knee down. I get the feeling I'm maybe half an inch off. But anyway, all right, we'll see you on the next one.